Hello, everybody. It is great to be here one more time today. My name is Gary Fowler. I'm the CEO, president, and founder of GSD, Get You Done Venture Studios, premier AI and quantum venture studio located in the heart of Silicon Valley. I'm a 17-time serial entrepreneur with several unicorns under the belt. I was on the original management team at Click Software, which was sold to Salesforce for $1.35 billion. Also, Eva.AI, your virtual assistant, what was acquired by Vizier in Canada. We believe at GSD that intellectual capacity is evenly spread around the world, but opportunities are not. Today, I am proud to host Runday.AI Presents and my good friend Kaius Meskanen, who is the CEO of Choicely, which is building powerful mobile apps without coding. He's located in Helsinki, and he's going to tell us about his own experience. In fact, his recent experience with the Grammys. Of course, he's into all kinds of things, whether it's the Miss Universe pageant, working with top soccer football teams, or the International Judo Federation. With that, I'd like to bring Kaius on board. Hi, Kaius. How you doing today?
It's a good day indeed. How are you, Gary?
Good. Now you've done a lot of different things, So tell me a little bit about it. How do you go from working in the special forces to running a company that's at the Grammys? You know what I mean? You were in the Finnish Defense Forces. And how do you go from that? What kind of lessons did you learn there, Kaius, that helped you move forward, going from architecture right to where we are today?
It's a good question. I think it kind of, so I'm from an entrepreneurial family, and I think special forces and training for that. So I was always doing a lot of sports. I think it teaches you resilience. If you're tired a little bit sometime, you know how to get forward. And I've always sort of prepared myself well for whatever I do. Did my homework and worked hard to get somewhere.
So you worked hard. You went down through. You were in the Finnish Defense Forces. It must be obligatory service for that 1 year, right? Then you work. You go into building houses, right, or designing houses for lifestyle. What made you decide to do that? I know you have a degree in architecture, so it would be a natural fit. But then you go from that to spending over 6 years there to Leo blocks. How did that happen?
Yeah. So I always liked building and designing things. So I did the master's degree in architecture here in Helsinki, Finland, and I was running an architecture office for some time. I'm involved in Leo blocks. It's about accelerated learning, educational platform, and so the switch from architecture to Choicely, it was a very well. I decided at some point that I don't want for a forever design projects one by one. I would rather design something that can be sold 1,000 or 1,000,000 times. So that was quite obvious how the world was kind of changing. So I ended up, after considering a lot of different things that could be built, I decided that I'm going to build Choicely with a couple of co-founders. And now with the current trends, it was a really good move, because right now the business of building apps is at 240 billion a year, and it's going to 660 billion by 2032.
So, you're going down through this app building environment. I know you've had some ups and downs and in and outs, but how do you go down through? So when moving from Leo blocks over to Choicely, how do you deal with the downtime when you don't have the business coming in and you're thin on money, right? How do you deal with that, and how do you resolve that and get over the top?
I don't think you're ever without a job. So I was I was entrepreneur always. So I was either designing houses or doing basically anything. But I don't think you're ever without a job. You can just do something for money if you're kind of in a moment where your company is not providing. But then when you're building something technology and stuff.
When you're down, Caius, when you're down and you have those dark days, you're trying to figure out, are we going to get the Grammys? Are we going to get the Judo Federation? Are we going to get the uh, soccer teams? How do you deal with those days when you're not sure?
Yeah, it's not like I'm not sure. It's like I trust in myself and think people I work with. So I know that we can always sell. And of course, to build faster things, then we have always also raised money for the tech team to build things faster. You can grow organically as well. But I think it's not like being unsure. If you know you're working on a product that's better than the market and you know you can sell, then you're never really unsure. You can be, there are dark days, but you can kind of energize yourself through it.
And so as you're going down through and energizing it, what did it feel like when you got your first customer?
Well, with Choicely, it was really nice. It was like the first couple of customers. It was really like it was things were sort of materializing as
Mhm.
you know the feeling because you've gone through it many times.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's nice to see what you believe in come true, right? Dreams come true, and you got to focus on it. And there are those dark times. But as you're going down through it, so when you got started on this journey, it was just the beginning of the no code, low code environment, right? People were talking about it. How has acceptance changed now from, let's say, what, 2 years ago, 3 years ago?
I think, let's say 3 years ago, when talking to a lot of, let's say, business decision makers, it was much about educating them that it is actually a good idea to use a lot of solutions that are already made, so you don't have to kind of build them again. That's kind of what no code is. So you use pre-built elements. But then I think fast forward 3 years till today, I think it has become quite obvious. Not still everyone understands. Maybe someone doesn't even know the word, but I think now it's quite obvious that no code solutions, when done well, they are just a shortcut to a ready product. And then the things that are coming with AI, I don't think anyone anymore would kind of believe in just coding things from scratch, not using sort of half ready-made solutions and AI to build things faster.
So when you're going down through this, so how do you go to these diverse customers? I know you're dealing with the Grammys. I know you're dealing with Miss Universe, International Judo. How do you go from each one of them? One is, they're diverse, right? The Grammys are a whole lot different than judo.
Yeah.
But how did you do that? How did you find those customers?
So it is a combination of, well, it's just good communication. But I guess the trick is, I think, like with us, I think it's with many companies, like how do you get the first meeting so you can present yourself and your business. um, I guess with us it's similar than anywhere. So multi-channel, from emails to LinkedIn to very good SEO optimized website to product presentations, outreach, meeting people, going to exhibitions, going to events. But I guess then it becomes also the hit rate. Like when you actually meet people, then how can people's attention span. So how can you make them interested in your product in like 10 seconds? I guess it really comes down to that.
How do you do that?
Well, in a few occasions I have shown people, when it's really about 10 seconds, I've shown them a tablet, explain them Kaius from Choicely. We build apps like this. They see something which could not be explained in 10 seconds. and get their attention and go from there.
And how does that work? Is it successful doing it that way? Is it a good hit rate?
Yeah, it's good hit rate though. You can't reach people in mass like that, but you know, in events, you maybe can. It's like, you know that it's not easy to build new re- bridges and relationships with email because people get so many, they might not even read the topic. So it's a combination of those. I don't think there's a single magic trick. I wish there was. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right about that. So let's talk about 2025. What's going to happen in 2025? And if you look at it in terms of the environment, how do you get down through and you know, how is it now compared to before? What do you see in 2025 in terms of the environment? What do you think's going to be? What do you think's going to happen from your perspective?
Okay. So we were maybe a little bit lucky. So people's behavior has become very, let's say, heavy on mobile apps. People spend now roughly like 5 hours a day on their mobile phones, 90% of that time in mobile applications, 10% in the mobile browser. Like the younger generation spends 6 hours on their phone. So it's just
Six
becoming more.
hours a day. Can you imagine that? And they still can't find their email.
Yeah, 6 hours a day. Well, we know that, let's say, certain social apps are taking a large bunch of that time, but again, they're using a lot of different apps, and so what it means that a lot of businesses, it's almost like for granted that businesses get business benefits from for having mobile apps, and then it means that the largest obstacles are usually that people think that businesses think that it's hard, slow, and expensive to get apps. So we're quite lucky to be in that space, making it easier and more compatible with price. And now comes the years of AI. So we're gonna make it even much faster and much more, let's say, easy for the businesses to build and maintain apps.
And so, what kind of an impact does it have on some place, like Grammys? What kind of an impact? How fast does somebody like that see the value in the product?
Very fast. With Grammys, we're building the app in a few phases. The first phase was for the members. The second phase will be for the large audience, which is very large. Um,
That
so
must be interesting having all those famous people on your app.
yes, it was very carefully designed how they can get real benefit from having it. It
Mhm.
was for very, like, super VIPs.
For super VIPs, what's a super VIP?
I don't know. You're from the US. The American pyramid.
I don't. I mean, I don't know the super VIPs out there. P Diddy, I don't know.
Okay. Well, Grammys is about music, so kind of the number one team of American music artists,
So the top tier, yeah.
the top tier.
No, that's great. And did they use it?
They did, and we have like really good feedback of what we did so far, and I think there's a good future with that one.
That's great. And how about the Miss Universe pageant? How's that? How does that working out?
It's working really well. We started with them in 2019, so it's been there for a long time and it's been growing. Their ownership has changed down the road, so I almost had to sort of resell or at least reintroduce what we do. But it was fairly easy because the app is really successful with all the metrics. So uh, they took a look, and now
What does it measure? What's a success measure? How do you measure success in something like the Miss Universe pageant?
well, uh, maybe it starts with how many people. So we have 3 million app downloads. So a lot of people use it. Then it's like how long, how much time they spend in the app. There is revenue to be made in the app. So there are like different ways that they are selling products. There is voting. There's a bunch of things. So there are a lot of metrics, direct business benefits, and they're quite strong. Also, their social is very strong.
Well, that's amazing. So what happens? And do they have subscribers that actually subscribe to Miss Universe app?
So there's a registration. There's no subscription yet. There might be in the future. It's under consideration. There were many, let's say, changes because the leadership has changed the last 2 years. So now they are kind of actually they're in sort of innovation mode. So a lot of new stuff is coming up. So let's see what new stuff we can also include in the app.
And you go down through, and I know you did the music award, the Eurovision. And
Oh,
how
yeah.
was that? How does that? Do they all have similarities, Kaius?
They do. They do have similarities. So Eurovision has actually like 140 to 160 million viewers on TV, and that's compared to like 120 in Super Bowl. Just giving some positioning. It's a very big show in Europe, and it's actually three shows. So like two semifinals during a week, and then a Saturday with the final. It's a mega show and very famous in Europe. It's kind of funny. It has this like positive, funny style. It's not so famous in the US, but maybe you
What do
heard.
you mean positive, funny? What does that mean?
There's a lot of like humor around it and like positive vibes, fun shows. I think things that make people laugh.
Huh, interesting. And so you got that started. And how did it grow? Is it viral? How did it grow? Did you push it, or was it just organic?
Yeah, we actually we work with the Eurovision team to make sure it's sort of integrated in their messaging, uh, in social, in emails, in their website, and we integrated a lot of things so that so basically there's a lot of automation. So the content itself comes from a third party provider that's already like part of how they work in EBU. That's the European Broadcasting
So does
Union.
that content go out to like the web app, or how does it go to
The
how do
app
they get
is
the content?
yeah, yeah. So the app is native. It's iOS, Swift, and Android Java. So they're native code and they're converted. That's just the content is coming from a different source, but it's automated so that the app takes it into different feeds. And they have a very talented team. They are now fully able to use the Choicely platform. They have great designer and all these people who can use the platform. So it's like a really good match with us.
And so when you're building it, how long does it take them to really try it to get used to it? Does it happen overnight, or does it take them a few months or a year, or how long does it take where they say, "Boy, I can really see the value of this"?
Yeah, I think that like the basic training to learn the platform takes a couple of hours, but then there are details that take a bit more time. I think building a production ready app takes a couple of days. It would be same as if you went to WordPress and you would build a website or something. It would take a bit of time to iterate it, good enough to take it to the market. So the technology is not the issue anymore. It's really your, let's say, imagination and ideas. And to make it even faster so that the technology is not holding anyone back, we're bringing some new AI functions this year in the next, let's say, 6 months. Where it's going to be really exciting, but it's already in a phase where the kind of the technology is it's no barrier anymore. It's really that people know what they want to build.
No, that's it. So and how much education, how much of having UI UX or being an engineer? What level of person can use Choicely?
I think the kind of person who can use social media, who's able to handle a social media account, or a platform like email or website platform. Maybe if someone can send emails using uh, like SurveyMonkey, or these kind of platforms. So if
Well, they're
some
used where they're technology inclined. They can use it.
Yeah, exactly. It's a drag and drop platform.
And
So
how
we
long does it take for somebody once you meet them, guys, to decide this is it? I've never seen anything like this. And do they generally have technical backgrounds or non-technical?
usually non-technical. It's usually more like business decision makers, but sometimes it's CTOs or heads of digitals in different companies as well.
What's without naming names? What's the hardest deal that you got into that you actually won?
I don't even know. Uh, I don't know. There is no there is no really hard one. I think like sometimes it can be a couple of meetings. Sometimes it can be 6 months and 4 or 5 meetings during that
And
period.
that's just to get the initial deal, or is that strategic partnership, or what is it? Do you start out with strategic partnership or deal? Is it
That would be like either one. I think like the future of what we're because we have prepared really well our platform to scale much faster now. So we are now focusing on much larger platform partnerships and partnering with tech providers who already have their own clients. And now there are some really exciting stuff that we're building. So we were really I'm really proud that we have like this large number of well-known brands now using Choiceless. So it's
does it
easier
help with the sale, guys, by having those brands?
very much because someone who doesn't know us at all could just see like, okay, what is Choiceless? Okay, they make apps. But when you see that, okay, these brilliant, very nice, almost like iconic brands are using Choiceless, then it's easier for them to kind of validate that, okay, these guys must have something.
Well, because they don't want to get into a situation that you don't have what you say you do, and their jobs are in jeopardy, right? You got to make sure that you're. Ah, that's great. So, 2025, what do you think is going to happen? What's going to come out new in your environment? Is going to change things?
I think there's lot well, there's like everything's going on, but I think some of the most exciting and largest fast changes are coming from in the kind of areas of AI. So also like new companies who build new products with their own AI solutions. We are working with some of them as well because some of them also need apps almost like frames for their products. They have built something incredible, but they still might want to you know launch that product in App Store and Google Play. That's where our stuff comes in as well.
We're coming up to the top of the show, guys. Closing thoughts, and how do people get a hold of you?
So best way to contact me is in either LinkedIn or through our website. So my name is Kaius Meskanen. I'm CEO of Choicely. There's only one person with my name in LinkedIn, so feel free to.
Only one?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. And so, LinkedIn, Facebook.
Facebook website.
So, what are your
Sure.
closing thoughts to my audience today?
So my closing thoughts are that it's been since the beginning. It's been my pleasure to work with Gary. I hope to increasingly work with him, and I hope that everyone who's running a business takes at least a quick look on how you guys can grow your business with mobile apps. It's something should be part of your channels.
Now, thanks, guys. Thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule. And thanks to everyone for joining one more time. Runday Presents. My name is Gary Fowler. I'm your host. Stay happy, stay safe, and stay healthy. We'll be back to you again soon with another exciting edition. Thanks, everybody, and take care, Kaius. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone.